Now, you made your name by attacking the former government's position on iCare. You also said last November that premiums were too high. What is your plan for making premiums lower for all the small businesses who use this insurance for workers' comp in New South Wales?
Yeah, Andrew, I'm really worried about the status of iCare and its principal insurance scheme. It, of course, affects 3.2 million plus workers and about 326,000 businesses. We've got to be upfront about the fact that the news in iCare has not been good for years. It is something which we will be announcing reforms to do. We made it clear during the election that we think that the regulator needs to have more power. We think that workers at iCare need to be treated the same as other public sector workers when it comes to their pay and conditions. We've made it clear that we don't think that iCare should have special privileges under New South Wales government procurement rules, and we do think that there is a role to have business and workers represented on iCare's board.
Do you anticipate premiums will remain the same, or are you able to see them lower, or will they increase under your government?
Well, I think that premiums have risen now twice in the last 2 years. As I discovered in opposition, now that you mention it, Andrew, that the previous government was having to take premiums up by about 40% over the next 5 years. My focus is to put downward pressure on premiums by delivering meaningful reform to iCare and the way in which it conducts itself and the way in which it administers the principal workers' compensation scheme in the state. But I've got to be upfront. The advice that we brought out through Parliament before we were elected made it very clear that premiums were having to rise significantly. I want to be confident that there is a serious reform plan in place for iCare, because that is the best way to deliver downward pressure on premiums at the same time we're caring for and respecting the dignity of injured workers.
All right. Is the New South Wales government likely to intervene to keep the Eraring power station open, do you think, in a couple of years?
Look, all options remain on the table when it comes to the future of the Eraring power station. We are monitoring closely market conditions, and we are working with experts both within the government and within the broad energy sector to ensure that both availability of power and affordability of power remains at the forefront of policy making here. But we make no apologies about the fact that all options will stay on the table when it comes to the future of the Eraring power station.
And finally and briefly, Daniel Mookhey, are you surprised to see your predecessor, Matt Keane, not put his hand up for Liberal leader?
I made it, when I was shadowing Matt Keane, I made it a business never to try to predict what he would do next and just wait to see what his decisions were. I will stick to that habit. Mr Keane's future is a matter for Mr Keane. I just wish him the best.
Daniel Mookhey, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.